Amanda Zilla, and I'm in the Faculty of Humanities and Education in the Department of Literary, Cultural, and Communication Studies. My program is MPhil in Literatures in English. My area of study is the adaptation of literary texts into film and virtual reality. I chose this area of study because I think that Caribbean development can only be propelled through interdisciplinary research. I think Caribbean literature is one of the artistic mediums that we have that captures the unique Caribbean experience in a way that allows readers to reconstruct this experience in their own imagination and consciousness. I think so far, having completed my first year, the learning experience is one that is definitely crafted to ensure that students are successful. Both the administrative and academic staff very approachable, very accessible, and they also ensure that students develop themselves outside of a purely academic context. Within the last year, I had the opportunity to attend a workshop that was based on helping research students develop CVs that enable them to be competitive on a global market rather than just the regional one. I think because my area is a global topic, presenting at international conferences and publishing papers with the help of supervisors and other staff at the UE would be an excellent way to achieve the goals that I step into this program. And also the opportunity to travel, to dispense my information to a wider audience is also very welcome and enabled by the Faculty of Humanities and Education. Since I entered into my undergraduate program, MPhil was the direction that I wanted to take, and I think because of the dedication that the staff has towards ensuring that students get the most out of their experience, that has been a big help in helping me to achieve the things that I want to from this program. If I had to describe my experience in the Faculty of Humanities and Education in a single word, it would be enriching.
My name is Arnel F.L. I'm from the Department of History under the Humanities and Education faculty, and I'm pursuing my MPhil in History. I've always wanted to be a teacher, and I've wanted to teach something that allows me the opportunity to address issues and make change and influence the younger generation. And history, I found by the process of trial and error to be a perfect tool to do just that. My goals were to learn as much as I could, to achieve the highest GPA possible, I was close, and to graduate feeling a sense of pride and that I was equipped to do what I wanted to do, which was to influence the younger generation and to teach from a place of knowledge and experience. One thing I would say is just being exposed to the diversity in thought and approach from lecturers as well as from students, because you exist in one sphere for most of your life, and then you're surrounded by persons from the region, international students. So that variety in thought and approaches to various issues is a great learning experience, as well as a bit of a culture shock, but together it informs you and helps you to grow as an individual. Well, history is definitely it's not glamorized as a subject to pursue. People think it's not economically viable. It's boring, some people believe. But I believe history is a powerful tool for understanding the past, but more so to understand the present we live in, and to project us into the future without making the same mistakes over and over and over again. And again, history allows you to discuss so many different social, economic, political issues. Every subject that you would do has a history to it. So history reaches far and wide. So that's why I chose history. I would describe my experience in history in the Faculty of Humanities and Education as a journey of diversity. My journey in history has also allowed me to travel for research purposes. I've been to Grenada. I am going to Cuba, God's willing, in the next month. I have been to conferences, so I've been exposed to a variety of professionals in the field of history. I've seen where history can take you, the level of knowledge that remaining and concentrating in history develops. So history has just enhanced my life and my learning experience and given me the ability to meet various people from diverse
My name is Arifa Sapnine. I'm from the Faculty of Humanities and Education, and I did a double major in French and Spanish at the Department of Modern Languages and Linguistics. I chose to study French and Spanish for modern languages because it seemed like the automatic path for me after the period of self-discovery at secondary school, because I developed a lot of new interests when I was studying languages. I became more confident. I began to see the world differently. So I decided, okay, well, I needed to continue along this path and increase my fluency, discover more about myself and about the world. Most language students, we have a very close relationship with our lecturers in that we really do look at them as mentors. We can speak to them about our careers, they give us good advice, and they're very solid in their fields, so they know what they're doing. It's a very small community as well, so we all know each other. You really form some great relationships, friendships with all of your colleagues, your peers. And I think it's a unique experience because we integrate a lot of culture into our degrees. So you would see that we have the Spanish club sometimes, or the French society. They do dance, they do theater. We have everything. It's like a world in itself. I think one of my main goals was really to increase my level of fluency in the languages. I wanted to be able to express myself completely in the languages that I was studying. I wanted to really live them, and I think that has happened because I did the exchange that you facilitated as well, because in our department we facilitate exchanges. I went to Colombia, and from Colombia I got to travel to Ecuador and Mexico as well. Well, it was actually unexpected at first because we had signed up to go to France to do our second year at the border university there, but they had some difficulties processing our applications, some issues between the campuses. So we didn't get to go there, but I had already decided, okay, I'm leaving Trinidad for a year. I wanted this experience. And my lecturer said, well, you know, the Colombia exchange is opening up. Well, I went for it. It was a marvelous experience. When we got there, I got there a little early. I got lost a lot in the capital. But my level of Spanish improved immensely. We had to teach English at that university, so we were very much involved in the teaching process. It was actually during this year that I firmly decided that I wanted to go into education after, because I was around a lot of students who actually went to this university because they wanted to be teachers in all their fields and the activities that they were doing, the personal and professional development that they were undergoing. It was really an amazing experience to be part of that development and also, well, learn about myself, learn the language a little more.
Hi, my name is Dominique Friday. I'm part of the Faculty of Humanities and Education. I'm part of the Department of Creative and Festival Arts, DCFA, and I'm a theatre arts major, declaring a minor in Carnival Studies. There's something about art, it speaks to something deep inside your soul. And we as artists or creatives, we can choose either to listen to it or ignore it. And I chose the path to listen to it against my mom's words, against what society has to say, because it is who I am. And what better place to do than here, home? Well, the transition from secondary school to university was a great one. Because in secondary school, in theatre, we don't study that much Caribbean art forms. Not many, actually. And I remember the very first week that I came to DCFA, I spoke to my dean, Mr. McWilliams, and I said, so I would like to do the foreign exchange program. And he said, why? Why would you want to do that? I said, well, obviously for a different experience. And he said, what can you get out there that you can't get here? And I didn't know. And he said, well, there's no correlation for a lot of the courses that we do. So hard lucks, you would have to stay here. And I'm glad you brought that up, because I think you would have a really great experience here in Trinidad and Tobago. And I was sad, because I wanted to go away. I wanted to see the lights. I wanted to be where Konstantin Stanislavski was, or where Arto was, or where Brett was. So I settled and I stayed here for 2 years, because I'm on my final year now. And Mr. Mark Williams' words rang true. Because from my second year, I realized that I knew nothing really about Caribbean arts and drama. And I didn't know that I didn't know, and that was the sad thing. So it was an eye-opening experience to really see who I am as a Caribbean person, who I am in terms of my art, in terms of the wider scope of the world. And he stresses on the fact that as an artist in the Caribbean, when you go out there into the wider world, what can you give? What can you contribute from your own self? You would have to learn it from home. Yeah. My goals, I didn't go in with any expectations after he told me about that foreign exchange thing. But if it's one thing, I'm really pleased about the fact that I gained so much knowledge, and I was able to meet so many different people, experienced people in the field. And I think that made the experience worthwhile so far. Well, I believe that DCFA has made me more conscious, not just of my Caribbean identity, but also African identity and my ancestors as well. I would say that I have a clearer understanding of what it also means to be a woman in the arts. So I think that has really informed me to go forward into my future. Also, I believe that because I had the opportunity to surround myself with so many other people sharing the same passion and the same kind of struggles, I think we are a formidable generation. So it's not just myself in it, it's a community, it's family.
My name is Jake Saloom. I am with the Faculty of Humanities and Education under the Department of Modern Languages and Linguistics. My major is Spanish and I'm pursuing minors in French and International Relations. The reason why I chose Humanities and Education is just because I've always, since it came time to picking subjects in Form 3, I've always had more interest in doing, subjects which fall under humanities and education. So I was never into being a sciences student or being a business student. I did Spanish, French, geography, history. I was more into the modern studies field. Well, coming into humanities and education, I honestly did not know what really to expect, because it's been a totally different experience from doing Spanish and French for Cape. And so I didn't I'd say that my goals were to do well in my courses and be successful. I definitely know a goal of mine is to be applicable for the third year apprenticeship exchange program, where you get to go to either France or Colombia and teach for the year. So of course, to pursue that, your grades need to be going well along the lines, because what I like about the Department of Modern Languages and Linguistics is that for all the languages that they offer, they have teachers and professors who come from all different parts of the globe, and that is a much different experience from secondary school, where it's a Trinidadian the majority of the time teaching Spanish and French. You really get to learn the foreign languages from the best, and even for Portuguese, the teachers are from Brazil, and because I really do like to meet foreign people and understand their perspectives and their ways of life. It really is beneficial to learn the language from a native speaker. And also humanities and education, I would say, so my dream job is to work in an embassy or work in foreign affairs, or just any kind of field where I get to interact with foreign speakers. And humanities and education has really started giving me opportunities to do that, because the first point I stated is that they bring lecturers from all different parts of the world. Besides that, they bring tutors from all different parts of the world, which are like students around our age. And because these tutors are close to your age, you don't really feel like tutors, they feel like your friend, and you can go and do something with them very casually, and get to practice your Spanish and your French, just with a casual daily interaction with them. And you get to talk about what interests me is that you get to talk to these individuals who come from these different parts of the globe, and you can find out how is life in their country, how it differs from yours, stuff that you would not have had any knowledge of prior. So it really does give me it gives me a more international perspective, which I think really would complement the political science and IR courses that I'm doing.
Hi, my name is Letitia Leslie. I am from the Faculty of Humanities and Education, Film Department. I study BA Film Production, minor in Film Studies. I always wanted to be a Disney kid growing up, and I just knew that I couldn't be a part of Disney. One, I'm in the Caribbean. Two, I was dark skinned, and there wasn't much dark skinned girls on Disney at the point in time. So I just decided, hey, maybe if I started to do film, make my own films, I could start my own films and then create an opportunity for other people like me to be a part of films as well. So it was more of inclusion. Honestly, I just wanted to make films. Like, it didn't matter to me if it was short films or feature lengths. Like, I just wanted to create content that I would enjoy and consume. It was kind of selfish, because I really and truly just wanted to make something for me. And then I noticed that film has such an influence on people that it became more of a... It was kind of like I could now impact others with whatever I create. So I could send out a message. I could have a voice with film now. So yeah, that was it. Well, being in film, you get to be a part of so many different groups and so many other creative heads, to the point where, okay, you know where your style is, so you can mesh with certain people, or you can't mesh with certain people. That's perfectly fine, because not everybody will be the same in terms of creativity. But I think most of all, in finding your voice, you find your own style. You find who you are and who you want to portray onto your films as well. Honestly, it's one of the most comfortable environments to be in. One of the most accepting. Like, you don't feel like if you have to compete with others in this faculty, and it's not perfect, but it's worth it. Well, my learning experience, it feels like you get more of a world view, like a wider view on everything. In terms of, they don't just feed you, all right, this is what you know, this is what you have to know, and that's all you have to do. Like, they give you the opportunity to put your own ideas and put your own thoughts into stuff as well. And it's better because you get to see different areas. So in terms of film, it's like they won't just show you Hollywood film, which is mostly what we consume in Trinidad. They will show you films from all across the world, and it just shows you that, okay, there's more out there. You don't have to try to be like Hollywood. You could create your own identity. You could even reinvent some stuff from Hollywood as well if you want. You could do whatever you need to do to make it work for yourself. So it just made my experience way better, knowing that there's more out there. In terms of fulfilling my dreams thus far, it has assisted me in terms of team building. So you get to know who you could work with in the future, who is best suited to be on your team. I think that's the best part about it, because you can't make a film by yourself. At the end of the day, you need an entire team. And once you have that, then you're good to go. I would describe the film program as very interesting, very welcoming, comfortable, and accepting.
My name is Anton Williams. I'm a student at the University of the West Indies St. Augustine campus. I'm a part of the Humanities and Education faculty, Department of Creative and Festival Arts, and I'm in my second year of my bachelor's degree of musical arts. Well, when in comparison to the other universities within the country, it was to me the best choice, because musical arts within UE provides such a broad scope of study. It's not only limited to performance, and it's not only limited to conducting or music education. You get a broad educational experience in terms of musical arts. So the program that I'm in, you get exposed to music education, music therapy, different methods of conducting for orchestra and for choirs. Composition, jazz theory. It have various ensembles: UE Arts Chorale, UE Arts Field, UE Arts Jazz, UE Arts Wind. It's a space where no matter what you do, you can come here and experience what you love, and an opportunity to experience things you didn't even know about. In coming to DCFA, I set for myself that I want to graduate with honors, to go away to get a scholarship, to do my master's and my DMA, Doctorate of Musical Arts, in orchestral conducting. The structure of the courses within the Department of Creative and Festival Arts is set in a way to cater to all. So there are, for those that are visual learners, there is that. Those who are auditory, there's that. And it's a safe environment, that if you know that you are falling behind, you wouldn't be left behind. The lecturers go the extra mile to ensure that we all understand. So I'm a voice student. within the department, and as a voice student, you are strongly urged to join the UE Arts Chorale. In 2017, we did a Central American tour. So we went to Belize, we did some performances there for the former principal of UE, Professor Sankat, his installation at the University of Belize. We performed at his installation. We also went to Mexico and we did a performance there. And it was a wonderful experience. It was my first time traveling overseas. And it was well because we went with UE Arts Chorale and UE Arts Steel, the premier ensemble of the Department of Creative and Festival Arts. So it was a wonderful experience. It was received well, and because of the repertoire that was selected. We had a lot of Spanish repertoire, we had Despacito and other things, so the audience received it well. And we also carried across some of our folk music, calypso, rhythm of a people, Trini by Benjai. So we carried the Trinidad and Tobago's culture outside.
My name is Tracy Lucas. I am from the Faculty of Humanities and Education, from the School of Education, and I am doing my postgraduate degree in education. Well, my master's degree was actually in education. My bachelor's was in psychology and theatre arts, and I've always had a passion for education and being able to instill that passion in other people, I guess, for learning. So it was natural for me to progress into this area of study. To be honest, I always wanted to open a center for education, a learning center, I should say. In some ways a school, but really more focusing on learning and inspiring creativity and learning. So I thought it would be best for me to really embark on an educational journey for myself, to do my doctorate degree and to really understand education, what it's about, and have a more robust knowledge from that perspective. So I can really contribute, I guess, to the best of my ability. So my goal was, I think in a way my goal was just to get that doctorate and to do it. Not so much so that I could be called Dr. Lucas. It was never really about that for me. It was really about knowledge, knowing and being able to use it for what I want to do in pursuit of my dream. Okay, learning experience. Well, it's been a journey. Just when you think you have something or grasp something, you could learn something else. So maybe I'd talk about it in different ways. So first of all, I think it's a learning experience for you yourself as a person, especially at this new level, because it's not anymore about just learning the information, regurgitating it, and writing some papers overnight, which you should never do. But it's really more self-directed, which can be extremely difficult, especially if you have a life. So if you're working, if you have a family, etc. So it becomes a very, it could be very isolating as well, but it becomes a very personal learning experience in that way. I've also had the opportunity, I think, to deepen my knowledge and understanding, because really also allows you to expand your knowledge, whether it's through going to conferences or hosting conferences and small, how could you say, collaborative experiences. Sometimes it's not as easy to find the opportunities, but they are there. So it will also include funding to go to training programs as well. I think that the supervisors and the faculty are also well versed in what they're doing, so they can provide a lot of guidance as well, not just for your project, but for expanding, again, your learning opportunities. So my supervisor has been particularly good in trying to guide me where I could go, what skills I could develop, so that I have those skills beyond just this dissertation project that I'm doing. You know? So it's also a career builder.
Good morning to all on this rainy morning. Welcome to orientation of the Faculty of Humanities and Education at the University of the West Indies, the FHE. I'm Jessel Murray, the Deputy Dean for Distance and Outreach, and I will be your moderator this morning. I join our Dean, Dr. Heather Cato, and colleagues at the University of the West Indies to give you a warm welcome wherever you are in the world. We invite you to grab a cup of coffee, cocoa, tea, munchies, or whatever you wish, and join us as we introduce you to our faculty, the FHE. This morning, we will give you a virtual tour of our faculty, the FHE, and we will introduce you to our divisions, the School of Education, Center for Language Learning and departments, and we'll also give you glimpses of student life through the eyes of the DSSD, the Division of Student Services and Development, and our Guild of Students. Finally, and critically, you will have an in-depth view of the entire advising and registration process. As we move along this morning, feel free to submit questions on our chat so that we can respond to you, and we'll also supply you with an email address later on so you can also pose questions to that email address. So let's jump in. Relax, grab that drink, grab those munchies, and I'd like to invite our Dean, Dr. Heather Cato, to formally welcome you to the Faculty of Humanities and Education. Dr. Cato.
Thank you, Mr. Murray. Good morning, students. As Dean of the Faculty of Humanities and Education, which in a very short time our new students will just be saying FHE, I feel a sense of excitement at the start of each academic year. I must admit that I miss seeing you all on our corridors in our two schools, the Schools of Humanity and the School of Education. I never thought I would say it, but I also must say I miss my crowded faculty office and the melee in the department offices. However, I am very excited. I am buoyed by the promise and the shared expectations of a new academic year. It really gives me tremendous pleasure to bring a special welcome to a very special year group. This is true whether you are new or returning. There is absolutely no doubt that your UE experience will be one no other group of students have ever had before. I therefore want to start by simply congratulating every one of you. You have already shown that you have what it takes to be game changers. Your determination, your commitment, your willingness to embrace change and challenges are all reflected in your presence here. We all knew the world was changing, and we also knew that it was changing fast. Yet, absolutely no one expected the world to change in the ways that it has, or at the pace that it has. This unique period in time makes you a historic group of students. And you are a group that we will look to lead us into a bigger, brighter world. We can and must do better than we've done so far. I really think that in the past few months, we have seen the best and the worst of ourselves. I look out at this virtual audience that we brought together. It is a virtual reality, but there's one thing that I know for sure, and that is I am looking out at what is best in all of us. Some of you have dreamt of university life for years, and our reality today is not what you had in mind. You may have been dreaming about leaving home and headed to Hall. That has now changed. You may have been thinking about how you would move around the new physical space on campus. You may have been thinking of joining the gym. You may have been thinking of browsing through the libraries. And there I say, some of you may have had plans for limes and parties. I will also whisper very softly that some of you may have been planning to go to another faculty. Life has taken you along a different course. Yet somehow, I think you are about to rewrite the history books, whatever your major is. and what a story it is going to be. I am a historian myself, and it is clear to me that we are entering a new historical phase in the development of our Caribbean nationhood. There is no better place to be at this time than at the leading Caribbean university. Still, as I sat thinking about what I would say to such a group, I realized that the core and perhaps the most important aspects of your student development remain the same in many ways, in spite of the differences in the modes for intellectual and other forms of interaction this year. As part of your academic study, we try to inculcate creative thinking, effective communication, information technology, innovation and entrepreneurship, global awareness, and regional grounding. I suspect that all of you have had to embrace these attributes since March 2020. Thus, our ideal UB graduate is emerging before our very eyes. We look forward to building on this. You are the next generation of Caribbean scholars and innovators. There's no change here, COVID or no COVID. That is who you are at heart. This experience is going to be a major impact factor on how our region will be shaped. Over time, we have experienced critical phases in the development of Caribbean intellectual thought, and this has shaped every discipline in our faculty and our reality today. We have had a period of indigenous establishment that has all but disappeared and has never been fully appreciated. We have been overpowered by the scholarship of the quote-unquote first world, and the ways of seeing the world which does not even entertain the very possibility of a Caribbean civilization in its own right. We have had our own Enlightenment period characterized by the development of Caribbean-centric perspectives. We refer to this as the creolization of our scholarship. However, this has never gone far enough, nor has it been fully appreciated. Can we finally enter the next stage in Caribbean development? And are you all going to be the ones to lead us into this phase? We have seen demands for equity take on manifestations in recent history that we felt had been dealt with by previous generations. Now it is being left to you. We have verbalized our own insecurities and exposed previously masked ways of how we feel about each other. You cannot be silent or inactive. Will you be the generation to deal with this once and for all? We have a world which seems to privilege STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. We have moved to STEAM, adding the A for arts, and we have moved to STREAM, capturing the importance of reading and literacy. Imagine that was forgotten in STEM. Yet, we do not appreciate the importance of disciplines in the humanities and education. When will we realize that all of us are needed and that what is needed is all-encompassing and no acronym will suffice? Will you be the generation that shows that humanities and education must lead the way in any development course if it is to be successfully charted? I want to connect these regional and global issues to each of you. It is difficult to perceive, but all this leads directly back to you. This is where change begins. Whether your degree is in history, literature, French or Spanish, linguistics, education, film, visual arts, theater arts, music, dance, communication studies, cultural studies, sign language, speech pathology, whatever it is, I want you to think about what you do in the next 3 years as being more than about mastering any particular discipline, as important as this is. I want to suggest also that it is not a pivotal issue whether the mode is virtual or face-to-face. What we are really trying to master is the nature of what your contribution is going to be to the development of our nation and region. There is no better place to do this than on this campus. There is no better time to do this than at present. There is no better group to do this than the one right here. Orientation is where we begin getting ready. We are not asking you to do it alone. Ask questions, start to engage. No question is unimportant because no student is unimportant. No problem is insurmountable. We are your support. Our interaction has already begun in a different mood than it ever has before. We will try to ensure that your student experience is as full as possible. We will strive to develop creative and innovative ways to get to know you and assist you. A historic group of students, a historic period in time, a historic intellectual engagement. Together, we will make history as it has never been made before. Join us. Help us change the game. This is a game that needs new players and new goals. In fact, FHE may very well need to create our own game. So welcome, and I really look forward to this historic year with you all. Thank you, and back to Mr. Murray.
Thank you, Dean. There's lots of things there that you've said, but critically important. I would say that what you said is that we are creating history. You, the students, are creating history. And we ask you to come with us at the Faculty of Humanities and Education, the FHE, and create history together, whether it's virtual or otherwise. Create the history. The Dean has also said that if you have questions, keep those questions coming to us. You can question us in the chat, or you can email the Dean at dean.fhe@sta.uwi.edu. That's dean.fhe@sta.uwi.edu, or you can use the chat. Now, let's take a virtual 3-minute tour with us through life in the Faculty of Humanities and Education, and also meet some of our current students. Well, you finally got a snapshot of what our faculty looks like. Yes, it is virtual at the moment, but we hope that you will get a chance to experience what you have seen in real life. And of course, you will, because life is like that. So let's start introducing to the Dean's team of persons who you must know at the FHE. Study these faces as they start coming through, because these are faces you will have to become well acquainted with during your time here at the Faculty of Humanities and Education. We'd like to first of all welcome Dr. Geraldine Skeet, the Deputy Dean for Student Affairs and Student Matters, and she will give you an overview of the matters that will assist with your academic progress. Dr. Skeet?
Thank you very much, Mr. Murray. Good morning, students. Welcome back to those of you who are continuing your studies with us. I hope and trust that this academic year will be an even more productive and successful one for you, in spite of the various health, family, financial, technological, and other challenges arising out of the COVID-19 pandemic, globally impacting university teaching and learning and our personal lives. As your Deputy Dean for Student Affairs, I also welcome you, the new students, to our Faculty of Humanities and Education, and offer my congratulations on the success of your application to join us, albeit virtually for the time being, as you begin at the tertiary level, the pursuit of your academic, career, and personal goals. As Deputy Dean, I liaise with staff in the Dean's office, such as Dean Heather Cato, the Administrative Officer, Mrs. Alicia Bruce-Julian, and particularly with the Administrative Assistant, Ms. Jennifer De Silva, who many of you will encounter, and with whom I work closely in dealing with all undergraduate student matters as regards leave of absence, change of status, re-entry, and many other relevant issues, along with providing advice with respect to queries and solutions to problems and uncertainties which students face. Typically, depending on its nature and severity, when you seek consultation to resolve a problem, you go first to your lecturer or tutor, after which, if there is no resolution, along the way there are the program coordinator, your head of department, the deputy dean, the dean, and the last resort is the deputy principal, who oversees all student matters on the campus. In addition to contacting Mr. Silva and or me via email and telephone, I also have deputy dean office hours and other convenient days times which can be arranged so that I can meet with you in a confidential setting, either online or, if necessary, face-to-face, practicing the safety protocols of wearing masks and physical distancing. Please, therefore, feel free to see or communicate with me whenever necessary. There are some programs which entail a practical component and therefore necessitate a hybrid or dual mode of delivery comprising both online and face-to-face interaction. Due to COVID-19 and the recent reinstating of the shutdown of all educational institutions because of community spread in our country, we will be delivering most of our courses online in the Faculty of Humanities and Education and across the campus. As many of you are members of Generation Y and are so savvy in using digital and electronic technology, we hope that virtual teaching and learning will not be off-putting or complicated for you. However, we will attempt to assist as far as is possible those of you who have difficulty with internet connectivity or in possessing computer resources. I encourage you to get off to a good start from your first year by getting good grades in your courses. With many more tertiary providers and persons graduating with tertiary qualifications, and hence more competition for employment and postgraduate opportunities, please take heed that it is not just about getting a degree, but it's also the class of degree that matters. It is akin to the same effort you applied when those of you previously enrolled in a certificate of diploma program tried to achieve the best grade average that you possibly could in order to allow you to successfully matriculate into the relevant degree program, either in the School of Humanities or the School of Education. Set a steady pace, seek guidance and help from your lecturers and tutors, get regular academic advising and degree evaluations, also called degree audits, done, and take full advantage of the student support services on the campus, the Student Life and Development Department, the Division of Student Services and Development, the Counseling and Psychological Services, and the Writing Center, for example. These all provide you with the means to overcome academic, financial, mental health, and other struggles, and to negotiate a manageable study-work-life balance while you pursue your university education, because life continues to happen as you study for your degree. Remember that your departmental orientation session, which provides you with more specific information about your chosen course of study, as well as how we can serve you in various ways at the department level, takes place virtually next Monday, 24th August, from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Academic advising, a very essential aspect of your academic choices and progress from the beginning to the end of your studies here with us, is for semester 1 scheduled from Monday, 24th August following your departmental orientation until Friday, 4th September. Again, thank you for choosing the Faculty of Humanities and Education, and I wish for each of you a successful academic year 2020-2021. Thank you. Mr. Murray.
Thank you, Dr. Skeet. And again, students, because you're no longer prospective students, you are students, please take a good look, memorize Dr. Skeet's face. She's the person who you'll be turning to for just about anything that impacts your particular progress here at the FHE. You can also keep questions coming on the chat, and if you wish to email the dean, here's the dean's email address again. It's dean.fhe@sta.uwi.edu. Now, I'd like to introduce you to Mr. Jarrell Alder, who is the Program Officer at the DSSD, the Division of Student Services and Development. Mr. Alder is a proud graduate of the FHE, and we are delighted to have him here to give an overview of the processes at the DSSD to assist you in campus life. Mr. Alder, over to you. As you will find out with these processes, sometimes we forget to unmute our microphones. So we're having Mr. Alder unmute his microphone so he can comment in.
Thank you, Mr. Murray. It means to say good morning also to the Humanities and Education team, and extra special greetings, of course, to all of our valued FHE students, both new and continuing, that are joining in on this faculty orientation exercise. So as mentioned, I am Jarrell Alder, and I'm the program coordinator at the Division of Student Services and Development, otherwise known as the DSSD. And of course, it is my honor and absolute pleasure to bring you greetings this morning on behalf of the division. So in sharing with you briefly this morning, I want to acknowledge all of our continuing students and say thank you for your continued hard work and show of commitment. And to our new students, I say congratulations and welcome to your first year experience at the UWI St. Augustine campus. The choice you have made to #BeUWI and pursue higher education at the St. Augustine campus signals your desire to achieve excellence and represents the trust you have placed in us as an institution to help you grow, develop, and achieve both your academic and personal goals. We thank you for entrusting us with this important responsibility and are excited to start this partnership with you. And in keeping with the tune of partnership, I want to say to all of our students that the DSSD is committed to providing you with a fully integrated, holistic educational experience during your time at the UWI. We are your active partners in creating a rich, dynamic, and life-changing student experience that involves experiential learning, holistic development, and student success that is personalized to your goals, your personal and professional goals that you have set for your individual life. So each of you is recognized for being unique and multifaceted, and with this in mind, the DSSD offers you a range of resources, support services, programs, initiatives, and meaningful opportunities that cater to your varying needs. Being a past student myself, I know this firsthand. So on screen is a quick summary of the types of support facilities and structures that are accessible to you through our 8 departments. We encourage you to connect with us and truly maximize your student experience by exploring all that the campus has to offer. There is a lot to gain from your university experience, and as our immediate aim is to help you in this discovery and developmental phase as you go on to become the exemplary leaders and game changers of the region and the world. The COVID-19 outbreak may have distanced us physically at this time, but in doing so, we are presented with a valuable opportunity to reimagine, redefine, and innovatively explore student life at our campus with you like never before. We want to hear from you on how we can help make your campus experience during this time even more rewarding and enriching, and are excited to explore this virtual modality together. We encourage you to maintain a positive outlook on your student experience and to join us in creating a vibrant online student community. So again, students, on behalf of the Division of Student Services and Development, I say thank you for allowing me the opportunity to share with you this morning. Welcome to our group of first-year students, and congratulations to all students in the Faculty of Humanities and Education for being the game changers of our region and world. Thank you, and over to you, Mr. Murray.
Thank you, Mr. Alder. And as I said, Mr. Alder is very knowledgeable in discussing the matters affecting your lives as part of the student body. Again, another face to memorize. You will not necessarily see him in the FHE, but you will see him virtually around the campus. And when you arrive on campus, it's the face to note. Thank you so much. Now, let's direct your attention to the screen as we start actual nuts and bolts of the university experience, advising and registration. Take a look.
Yes, do you need something? Oh, you're here about academic advising. Well, I could only give you short notes, but if you want solid information, go to your faculty office.
Gosh, just help them out now.
Fine.
Oh, okay. So the most important thing about academic advising is actually going to it.
Yes, it is very important for you to attend because you can learn important things like deadlines.
Yes, deadlines are very important.
Like when payments are due and when registration for courses begin and end. Now, you don't want to go an entire semester only to realize by the end that you didn't properly register for the course.
What? Why are you looking at me like that? It happens to everyone.
So academic advising is basically a run-through of everything you need to do and know in order to graduate.
And how to complete and register for new courses every semester.
Yes, every semester.
And if you skip, well, you just don't want to.
Skipping advising means you can register for the wrong courses, thereby missing important credits needed to graduate.
Don't you want to graduate?
It also teaches you about the entire registration process, from overrides to change of options.
An override is something you might need to finish the registration process.
Meanwhile, change of options refers to changing your major or adding a minor or two.
Which means if you don't go to academic advising, you might not understand the process.
Wait, we know what you're thinking. Oh, I'll just get advice from my friends. Don't get advice from your friends. Listen, we know that you trust them, but they might give you some wrong information because what works with them might not always work for you. So if you have any questions, please go to your faculty office and avoid wrong advice.
Basically, what we're trying to say is, do you really want to sacrifice not graduating because you didn't want to go academic advising? Go to the FHE website and get all the dates and times to advising.
Absolutely. No, wasn't that useful?
Well, actually, it was a little tiring.
No, I was talking to them. Look, just ensure you make it to your academic advising because you don't want to miss graduating with your friends because you didn't go.
So you see some of our students discussing the importance of academic advising and eventually registration and your path to registration. So now we're going to introduce you to Mrs. Alicia Brooms-Julian, who is the administrative officer and at the Faculty of Humanities and Education, the FHE, and she's going to give you a detailed tour of what it means to be advised and how to register. Please pay close attention because this is a critical part of what you'll be doing here at the FHE UWI. Mrs. Brooms-Julian?
And welcome again, everyone. I was saying to you all that higher education continues to be very relevant today as one of the main ways in which universities contribute to society by producing graduates who improve society socially, economically, and politically. That charge is captured within our UWI mission statement and our continued goal of what we have termed producing the UWI ideal graduate. It is truly our sincere hope that all of you here today will embrace this holistic UWI life and add to this tradition of becoming an ideal UWI graduate. And allow me to point out a few lines on what a UWI ideal graduate looks like. A UWI ideal graduate is a critical or creative thinker, an effective communicator with good interpersonal skills, IT skill and information literate, innovative and entrepreneurial, globally aware and well-grounded in his or her regional identity, socially, culturally, and environmentally responsible, and guided by strong ethical values. What can we expect here at a tertiary level institution? What does it mean to read for your degree? You are required to research, become an active learner, right? This encourages you to take full ownership of your own learning via reading, researching, and engaging. With the rigors of university life, balance is therefore needed. It's very important. You will therefore be expected, you will be expected to deal with many things at the same time. You will have your lectures, tutorials scheduled within your enrollment status, and that is whether you're full-time or part-time. You will have examinations and assignments. In it all, do not lose yourself. Maintain a healthy lifestyle, as these are the things that you would need to be balanced within your university education. One of the major questions, now that you have begun this wonderful academic journey, a major question would be, what do I need to do in order to be awarded the particular program that I got accepted into at UWI? The answer is that you must fulfill both the program and GPA, which is grade point average requirements. This refers to compulsory courses, elective courses, and a minimum GPA in order to graduate. Let us look briefly at these three requirements. For each program, whether you are enrolled in a certificate program, a diploma, a degree program, there are compulsory courses that you must do Compulsory courses consist of what we call foundation courses and specific courses that are required in your particular discipline, whether that is a special, a major, or a minor. Yeah. You are also required to complete some electives. All programs have a specific number of courses or credits that you must complete. So apart from completing the required compulsory courses, you then need to make up the outstanding courses or credits by doing other courses. And these courses are referred to as electives. The three major requirements to completing your degree is maintaining, the third one is maintaining the required GPA. And as I said before, the GPA is your grade point average. And this impacts greatly the degree that you graduate with, which is your academic responsibility. Understanding your GPA and how it impacts that, it is definitely your academic responsibility. For each course you complete, you will receive a grade, and for each grade, there is an assigned grade point. At the end of each semester, an average is calculated from the grades you receive, and this becomes your semester GPA. The minimum GPA required for you to graduate is a GPA of 2.00. Yeah? And of course, the higher you move up from that, you can get better and better. Now, how to go about fulfilling those requirements? Let us look at that. It is recommended that you acquaint yourself with the terminologies used at the UWI. There are a lot. Here are a few. Your faculty booklets, which is online, academic advising, and first year experience. You would have heard Mr. Alder spoke about that. You would have listened to our video with academic advising. You have to think about credits, yeah? Overrides, holds that are maybe on your account. Please note that all new students would have what we call academic advising hold on your account, which means you won't be just able to go in and register for courses without first receiving academic advice and then having that hold removed from your record. So that is very, very important. Most importantly, we recommend that you familiarize yourself with the faculty booklet, which should become available for you to download via the faculty or the UWI website. Please note that the booklet has many important things to guide you through your program. There are rules and regulations, there are the structure of your particular program, and there are guidelines and course descriptions in case you need to look at your electives to determine what particular one you are interested in, and then you speak with an advisor and moving forward. This cannot be stressed enough. You must attend academic advising sessions. The video would have told you that again. However, always remember to get information from a reliable source. Speak with an advisor, an academic advisor. Please visit the faculty website for information and instructions with respect to academic advising. So let me give you a quick rundown on the faculty's website and academic advising for this year. This year, our orientation program, which is this session right now, and the academic advising sessions will take place virtually. You go to the UWI website, the FHE website, at stauwi.edu/FHE. When you reach there, click on the orientation and academic advising button. I popped it out here for you, right? And download, you will get this page, download this information flyer, which will give you a lot of the dates and the steps that you will follow, yeah? Follow these steps. We are currently in step 1. You are attending your faculty orientation, yeah? So you are here. When you click on step 2, or let me just go back and show you, you are new students and or continuing students will click here. You will still all get to step 2. That is a very relevant icon to you all, and also to BA Math and Geography student. There's an icon there for those students. Click on the department that your program falls under and simply follow the instructions as you go along. At this point, if you are not too sure which department your program falls under, go to the faculty website's homepage and click on the programs link. There you will find a complete list of programs and the departments under which they fall. Another item that is very important would be the timetable. Again, you go to UWI website and pull up the timetable so that you can know when your classes are scheduled. These will be online this year. Based on your enrollment status, whether you are part-time or full-time, you will need to register for either 3 courses per semester, that is if you are part-time, or 5 courses per semester if you are full-time. When you're doing that, of course, when you speak to an advisor, this will help you plot your academic journey, and you can utilize a second page of the academic advising form, the ways to graduation, and this will help you plot that your program. As we commence this new academic year, 2020-2021, as you know, we are operating within different circumstances. We are operating during a global pandemic. This has caused our operations to be a little bit different. So access to the campus will be very limited, if at all. Students will not be on campus for classes, as all class delivery will be done online. Courses with special components will be discussed in your departments. Please remember, therefore, to attend your department orientation session, which is Monday, the 24th of August, 2020 at 10 a.m. Special arrangements are being put in place for students with poor internet access or other challenges. Students without a computer or device to access classes can make arrangements to loan one from the campus. These instructions will be supplied to you as we go along. Campus will continue to explore the possibility of providing support that is needed in this new environment. Remember, we are all required to make some adjustments in this new context, but we will get through this together. We recognize that in life, things can get pretty tough for you. So when life throws hurdles at you, which in some cases could be seen as opportunities, there are things that you may wish to consider through the UWI channel, such as requesting a leave of absence, or getting assistance from an advisor or your head of department or the dean. You may also look at getting moving into counseling services, medical support, or academic support. Remember, don't just give up. Seek assistance. We are all here to help you. I encourage you to take ownership of your academic life. Yes, even in challenging times. I'm reminded of the Global Leadership Interlinks Iceberg Principle. It is a hidden 9/10 that is not seen that build mass on us. Stay true to your core values and agree on some hard boundaries for yourself when it comes to your academic studies. Remember, after you succeed and have completed your degree that is seen by others, that is what people see as your success. However, it is those things that are unseen, such as your hard work, your persistence, the late nights you stay up. Those are the things that you have put up. All the sacrifices would have assisted in building character within you. It is not seen, but this is the mass that you can build for yourself. Remember, keep a schedule of your activities. Balance is important. Don't lose yourself in the midst of your academic pursuits. Maintain a healthy lifestyle. And this is just a word cloud to remind you of some of the attributes of a successful student. which will all equal to your success at the end of your academic journey. In conclusion, finally, in summary, remember, earn your degree or certification. Be an active participant. Recognize that every circumstance is an opportunity for growth. So build mass on the inside. It is the hidden 9/10. And most of all, enjoy the journey. Thank you very much. Back to you, Mr. Murray.
Thank you, Mrs. Brooms-Julian, for the comprehensive and very important set of directives and advice for people who will need it. So again, we want to have persons who, after taking in all that information, you may have more questions. So keep those questions coming in the chat, or you may email the dean at dean.fhe@sta.uwi.edu. So we know that there are lots of opportunities available at the FHE. So now we're going to turn to the first of our constituent divisions, which is the Center for Language Learning, the CLL. Turn your attention to this short video in which the director of the CLL, Dr. Beverly Carter, will introduce you to her division, and you can also hear from some of the students there about the possibilities of taking courses at the CLL, the Center for Language Learning.
Dear September 2020 learners, welcome to the CLL and welcome to the adventure of learning a language remotely. Those of you who have been with the CLL before know that we are characterized by our warm and empathetic teachers, fluent in the language, exposed to the culture, highly qualified. That's what you get when you learn a language with us. You get a small class where there is a lot of interaction. That's what you will also get in the remote setting. So I look forward to having you join us and having you enjoy what we offer, and have a good semester. Have fun learning a language with the CLL.
皆さん、お元気ですか？一緒に日本語を勉強しませんか？ Hi everyone, are you interested in Japan? Let us take you there without the airfare. Come study Japanese with us at the CLL.
With the knowledge you gain at CLL, you can take your Japanese from the classroom straight to Japan via scholarships, the UE exchange program, and the JET program.
Why learn one alphabet when you can learn 3? Hiragana is curly and wonderful. Katakana is angular and wonderful. Kanji is simply wonderful.
皆さん、こんにちは。私たちと一緒に日本語を勉強しませんか？ Under the Marugoto curriculum, we are dedicated to creating an interactive online classroom environment with unlimited access to online resources provided by the Japan Foundation.
Are you interested in Japanese pop culture? We didn't forget about you. Why wait a moment longer for subtitles or official translations when you can understand it yourself? Let us help you.
皆さん、一緒に日本語を勉強しましょう。皆さん、一緒に日本語を勉強しましょう。
There's a common saying about learning Chinese. 学习中国话，朋友遍天下。 Study Chinese and you'll build many friendships. Learning Chinese at the CLL will allow you to experience something new surrounded by others. Your classmates will become like your family. You'll learn together, you'll laugh together, you'll struggle together, and you'll definitely succeed together in your new online environment.
Yes, so we are back, and after that lovely presentation from the Center for Language Learning, now we can start taking you to some of the other departments in the School of Education, because one of the benefits of the FHE experience is that you have elective courses that can enrich your experience here. Besides the CLL, you can also take courses across the various departments, as well as the School of Education. So now we will start introducing the various heads and directors who will tell you about the divisions so you can start thinking of the rich assortment of courses across the FHE. We'd like to start by introducing Professor Jerome Delisle, the Director of the School of Education, who will tell you about the SOE, the School of Education. Professor Delisle.
Thank you, Mr. Murray. Welcome, students, to the School of Education, Faculty of Humanities and Education. If you have been accepted to the to our school, you're likely in the Bachelor of Education Primary School program. And that program basically teaches you to become a teacher at that level. Now, the modern day teacher is a unique professional with a wide range of competencies, values, and knowledge. And we can help you to reach that goal as we find teaching and learning ecosystems quite dynamic and complex. A teacher is more than a facilitator. They are a manager. They create learning ecosystems. And that really helps students to advance, even in this very difficult time. Teachers are trained in instructional and pedagogical tools, and they learn the basic skills of lesson planning, as well as how to provide, very important in our context, effective feedback. So your experience with us would be unique and beneficial. You will learn the philosophy, the psychology, and sociology of being an effective teacher. So I look forward to seeing you. Back over to you, Mr. Murray.
Thank you, Professor Delisle, for introducing us to the School of Education. Now we will introduce you to the next department. The School of Education is all the way to the west and just outside the gates of the main campus, which just to let you know, although you're virtual. And now we go to all the way to the north of the campus, to the Department of Creative and Festival Arts. And I'd like to invite Mr. Louis McWilliams to tell you about the Department of Creative and Festival Arts, the DCFE.
Good morning, all. Thank you, Mr. Murray. And a warm welcome to all of you students who are in here, especially those of you who have applied and got through to the Department of Creative and Festival Arts, better known as DCFA, and welcome to the Faculty of Humanities and Education. I want to say a very warm welcome to you, and for those of you who chose to do subjects at the DCFA, I want to say you made a good choice. What's my adjectives here? You made a good choice. And at this point, normally when I do this orientation, I normally just shout out DCFA, and I get a response from the audience saying DCFA, so I know all the DCFA students inside of here. But I want to say welcome again. And at this point, I think we're coming through at two levels, our certificate level and our degree level, because we offer certificates in music, visual arts, dance, and theater arts. And we have the degree program in dance, music, theater arts, visual arts. So we should have two levels of students inside of here. And as the dean rightly said, this is a unique situation. This is a very important year group for us, because taking the creative arts virtually is indeed a challenge for us, and is a challenge that we look forward to. One that, I mean, once we're talking about creative arts, we're talking about innovation and learning and creation, and this new form of virtual teaching is also going to be challenging and new and exciting for us. So I look forward to welcoming you, and we're going to share more about the programs that we offer and the things that we do during our orientation on the 24th. But just that all you students who are not in the DCFA, who have not applied for anything, we have a number of electives that you can join us with and be a part of. We welcome you, and we have a staff that is fully trained academics and fine practitioners who will guide you through your journey in music, dance, visual arts, theater arts, carnival studies, whichever your area is. We welcome you, and we can chat much more on the 24th and when you come to do academic advising from there on. So pleasant good morning and welcome to DCFA. Thank you, Mr. Murray.
Thank you, Mr. McWilliam, for the very spirited DCFA on the north of the campus. And now we're going to start moving inwards. And just before I introduce you to the departments which are all located on the main campus, because you still have to have a sense of the geography for when you eventually come onto the campus, just want to remind you to keep the questions coming. The questions are starting to come and we are trying to answer them virtually. Some of them we will address later in the program directly. As well, we want to, and again, if you wish to email the dean, it's dean.fhe@sta.uwi.edu. And Mr. McWilliams was very kind enough to remind you that there are departmental advising and orientation for each of the departments and the School of Education on Monday the 24th of August. So you can continue to check the various websites. You'll also be emailed with reminders so you can check. So we are now on main campus with the departments which are lodged at the main campus, and I'd like to introduce Dr. Sherrian Singh, who is the head of the Department of History, so she can tell you about the Department of History. Dr. Singh?
Thank you, Mr. Murray. Good morning, everyone, and a very warm welcome to all our students. Whether you are new or returning, majoring or minoring in history, doing courses as electives, or entering our postgraduate programs, I would like you to remember one thing that our dean has already pointed out. You will not only be studying history, but you will also be creating history by studying now in a virtual forum. And of course, this is a perfect example of history being alive. As a department, we specialize in history, archaeology, diaspora studies, and heritage studies. All of our staff members are accomplished and well-published academics with years of experience in researching, writing, and teaching of history. At the undergraduate level, we offer courses in Caribbean history, European history, Latin American and US history, heritage studies, digital history, archaeology, African and Indian history, and African and Indian diaspora studies. Students can do a major in history. A major involves doing 30 courses over a 3-year period. Students can also do a minor in history, which comprises 5 level 2 and 3 courses. At the postgraduate level, we have 3 options: the MA, the MPhil, and the PhD in history. The MA is taught as a part-time program which spans a period of 2 years. Students are required to read 3-year-long courses and to write a research paper of between, let's say, 10,000 to 15,000 words. The MPhil degree in history is a research-based program. Candidates for the MPhil will be required to read one of the MA courses and present 2 seminars on their research. A research paper of 60,000 words would also have to be submitted. The PhD in history is also a research-based one, and PhD candidates are required to conduct research and to present a 100,000 word thesis on a chosen topic. This thesis must be deemed to contribute new knowledge to the academic field. Beyond the academics, we in the Department of History, we have a very vibrant history society, and we encourage all students to join. You can also join us outside of the lecture room on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, where we continue to engage history and contemporary issues in many exciting ways. We have also just begun providing our services to anyone who wishes to have their history researched and written. I'm sure that as history students, you must have been asked at least once, why are you doing history? Why history? And I'm almost sure that most of your answers would have been very career-oriented. You would have immediately said, well, I want to do teaching, which seems to be still the most common career option for history. But history can create the avenue into so much more areas, into heritage studies, into environmental and conservation studies, into library and journalism studies, policy framing into the field of education, politics, legal area, and of course, you can even become the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago as a historian. But there is a more fundamental answer to that question of why do history. History allows us to investigate the past with its challenges, triumphs, and failures, and to become aware of what and how we've gotten to the present. Along the way, the study of history develops our skill of critical thinking and equips us to better understand and manage current issues, challenges, and contexts. This, of course, is what resides at the core of the insight and transformation that propels societies forward positively and successfully. And this is especially crucial now in our current COVID-19 context. Let me say finally that the Department of History, we commend your choice of history at the UWI St. Augustine campus. We affirm our commitment to doing whatever it takes to facilitate your success as a student of history, especially within this new virtual teaching and learning forum. Once again, welcome to the Department of History. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Singh, for the I have to say, the illuminating set of comments about history. Yes, history critical to the development of our country and the wider region. So we encourage people to think about the various courses so far: the School of Education, the Department of History, and the Department of Creative and Festival Arts. So now we go on to yet another division. We'd like to invite Professor Paula Morgan, who is the head of the LCCS, the Department of Literary, Cultural and Communication Studies, to tell you about the department, the LCCS. Professor Morgan.
Thank you. I am pleased to extend to you a warm welcome to the Department of Literary, Cultural and Communication Studies. Ours is a rich facet of the faculty's work. It is here that we grapple with issues of being, identity, meaning, interaction, and culture. We gaze at the restoration of broken and fragmented societies, and we come to the realization with Derek Walcott, break a vase and the love that reassembles the fragments is stronger than the love which took its symmetry for granted. Or we come to terms with the power of culture to work through or to obstruct global issues. Why culture wars should transform a public health imperative like wearing masks within the framework of a global pandemic evolve into a volatile political and ideological issue, and all the while thousands die. Here we see with Anthony Robbins that to effectively communicate, we must realize that we are all different in the way we perceive the world, and we must use this understanding to guide our communication with others. It is my firm conviction that our explorations in literature, culture, and communications are pivotal in teaching us how to shape satisfying lives in these troubled times. And in turn, we can empower others to make a difference. We have several diligent teams that welcome you. They are waiting undergraduate coordinators, postgraduate coordinators, administrators, clerical officers, technical staff, and you will hear more about them in our departmental orientation. Our programs also intersect in all kinds of interesting ways, and we will explain that. You are either a major, you are majoring in our programs, or you can also minor in some facet of what we offer, or you can just take a course or two. So all I have to say again here is that our virtual and actual doors are open. Let's learn and grow and explore together. Exceptional scenarios create exceptional responses and exceptional people. And there's a sense in which we agree, I think the agreement has been across the board, that you, this intake, you are poised to be that exceptional generation. You are poised to become those exceptional people. So come join us and let's enjoy. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor Morgan, reminding us of this exceptional set of students who are joining us this year, and of course, students who are returning, students who are doing changes, that this is an exceptional time, and you are an exceptional student who will take advantage of this exceptional time. So now we continue our journey to the Department of Modern Languages and Linguistics, the DMLL, and we invite Professor Elizabeth Walcott-Hackshaw to introduce you to her department. Professor Walcott-Hackshaw.
Hi, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Jessel Murray, and welcome, students. I think, as everyone had said, you are living in a period that you're not going to forget. You'll be able to tell everyone, I was at university when the pandemic was there. And let's hope that that's going to be a very, very rewarding experience. So let me start by saying welcome once again to the department, to the faculty and to the Department of Modern Languages and Linguistics. I want to let you know some of the programs that fall in our department. So in the DMLL, that's Department of Modern Languages and Linguistics, you will be with us if you're doing a BA in French, that's a Bachelor of Arts in French, a BA in Linguistics, a BA in Spanish. We also offer BAs in Speech Language Science, English Language and Literature, and Latin American Studies. So here are some of the disciplines you need to think about where you're in the Department of Modern Languages and Linguistics. Brazilian Studies, Caribbean Sign Language Interpreting, French, English Language and Literature with Education, Latin American Studies, Linguistics, Spanish, Speech Language Pathology. All of those fall under our department. Talking a little bit about what we do in the department, we too have native speakers, and we also engage in culture and literature, and of course, language learning. We have some exciting programs, and when the world opens up, and the world will open up again, our students can actually travel abroad and they can become teaching assistants in French-speaking countries or in Latin American, Hispanic-speaking language countries. They have the opportunity to spend a semester abroad in France or Spain, or again in Spanish, French-speaking countries, so that they move beyond the campus. This year we're here virtually on campus, but when the world opens up again, as I keep saying, you will have the opportunity to travel and teach and spend some time abroad. A little bit about learning a language. As we've all said, and the Faculty of Humanities is incredible in that way, in that you can do different electives, you can build your degree, and you can create something that is quite unique, but as well as something that is quite deep and profound. Learning a language is one of the best ways to understand, to enter, and to connect with another culture. And I think now more than ever, even in this virtual reality, this connection is crucial. I've always felt, and it is my firm belief, that Caribbean people should be speaking at least 3 languages. People in Europe do it, Africans speak several languages, and I see no reason why we can't be doing it too. But that's just my personal thing, and I do think it's something I'm going to keep working on. We are multicultural, we are multilingual. On a practical note, if you are studying a language, it can add to your profile. So you may be doing degrees in different areas, but if you pick up a minor in a language, that's also very important, and it does add something extra to your degree. So we have a dynamic staff full of native speakers, people from Trinidad. Yes, it's really quite incredible. We have a staff at the DMLL and in the faculty as a whole. In fact, in all of the departments that you've just heard about, I can attest to how hard people work and how committed we are in the faculty to making this experience very important for you. So we can help you navigate your way through these transitional times, because it is a transition and you are living in an incredible period. It may be challenging, but it is incredible. And we can help you navigate this time. And your next step for the DMLL and for most of us is that you come to our orientation, which is on Monday. And we will tell you a lot more about the programs that we offer then. And again, welcome to this really incredible period in your lives. Thank you.
And thank you, Professor Walcott-Hackshaw. So what we have now, we have done the journey from the School of Education on one side, the Department of Creative and Festival Arts to another side, and then we went on to campus in our virtual tour, with Dr. Sherry-Ann Singh with history, Professor Paula Morgan with the Department of Literary, Cultural, and Communication Studies, and Professor Walcott Hackshaw, Department of Modern Languages and Linguistics, as well as Dr. Bellian Carter with the CLL, the Center for Language Learning. We now we go to the east of the campus. We are such a widespread faculty. And we now go to Mr. Yao Ramasa, who is the coordinator of the film unit, so he can introduce you to the film unit and tell you about it. Mr. Ramasa?
Thank you, Jessel. Welcome one and all to the land of film. We have a undergraduate film degree program, and you can study either film studies, or you can do film production, or do a double major. We have a film production special, we have a film studies special. And what I would say, in 3 years, we tend to equip students who can go out into the world of work, into the very lucrative world of cinema, and contribute not just culturally, but also economically. In the recent times, of course, we have Netflix coming from out of nowhere that is now capitalized at about $1 trillion, $1.5 trillion TT dollars, 250 billion US dollars. So this is a huge industry. It's become more and more open. In these times, especially where everything is being streamed and you cannot go to the cinema, this whole platform, online platform for production and streaming of films has blown up. So we are seeing tremendous opportunity for expansion and initiative in these times. Our students are well-rounded. We study films from all over the world. We have guest lecturers from all over the world. So sometimes we get out, for instance, we had students going to visit with Will Smith on location in Philadelphia along with one of our faculty. One of those students selected even declined because he was doing his own films. And that's a gentleman, Roger Alexis, who has done Santana, which is a critical character, and on YouTube. I think he has a couple 100 million viewers. So we are talking about a tremendous reach, professional, economic, social, cultural reach into the world. And we encourage our students to nourish, to expand the language of cinema, to nourish the culture of global cinema. And of course, for instance, would be cinema and gender, Indian cinema, cinemas of Africa, Caribbean cinema, along with foundations like cinematography, editing, directing, cinema sound, history of cinema, aesthetics, and theory. So it's been a tremendous journey. Our students tend to wind up in the multiplexes of cinemas around the world, and also in international film festivals. We have our own dedicated film festival. We have a film journal. We have lots of events, lots of comings and goings of people in cinema. We have a filmmakers forum. So it's very active, exciting space, arena. And we look forward to having you on board, and we look forward to you making a great scene and shooting people with cameras. So it's gonna be tremendous. And one last thing I'd say is, people say things like, there's nothing new under the sun, or thinking outside of the box, and so on. When we start to ask critical questions like, what's above the sun, and why is there a box in the first place? So when you come to us, we tend to shatter all of those stereotypes and cliches, and pretty much extend into the new world of narrative and resetting the whole dynamic of what is film language. And these days we are actually constructing a new language of cinema, which we could say Creole cinema or New World cinema, because we want to go beyond the narrative limitations of Hollywood and such, and create an entirely new world. And we have the power, because the students keep coming and coming with tremendous stories and tremendous ideas, and manifesting it on screen. Just, it's entirely satisfying experience, both of the faculty, I could say, on their behalf, and the students who have come through the program. So welcome aboard. Look forward to having you in whatever form. And we're going to make some great scenes in the years to come.
Thank you, Mr. Ramasa. And I love this the whole idea about, yeah, let's shoot with film, shoot with cameras, and that completes the suite of 7 divisions of the FHE. I hope that that your palettes have been whetted of the possible choices for you to do the various courses which may fall outside of your particular majors or specials. And we invite you to continue to research the possibilities for the enrichment of your academic experience here. So now, after hearing from all of those heads and directors, we go back to, as promised, the student perspective. And the student perspective here is going to be represented by Ms. Michaela Regis, who is the guild representative, the faculty guild representative for Humanities in Education. I invite Ms. Regis to speak with you.
Good morning to the new and continuing students. Welcome to the Faculty of Humanities and Education. Many of you would have envisioned a different entrance into the faculty, but due to circumstances within the world, this is a different form of communication, but a safer form of communication. Don't be discouraged by this. Strive to attain the best grades you can within your respective fields, and make sure to attend your academic advising as to better ease your matriculation into the university. Do not be afraid to reach out to other students within your fields and within your groups who you may or may not know, and form group chats as we're trying to keep safe. You can form great memories, even if it's virtually, with your peers. Make sure to keep yourself physically and mentally healthy. And if there's any problems or concerns, never be afraid to reach out and ask for help. The university is a great place to start your journeys, to experience new forms of your respective fields, and to experiment with things that you may have never thought of engaging in. You will be able to make many wonderful memories, and I encourage you to reach out through FHE's various social media platforms, get better acquainted with peers not only within your level, but also who would have been in years prior and in their final years. Remember to stay safe, stay healthy, have lots of fun. This faculty is very much a fun one, and welcome again to FHE.
Yes, thank you. So Ms. Regis has given us what I call it the truth. It's a hardworking, but it's a fun faculty. And we're delighted to have you here with us this morning. And we're actually fast drawing to a close. Thank you for continuing to send the various questions in the chat, and we've been answering them as they come through. We also encourage you again to write to the Dean directly, dean.fhe@sta.uwi.edu. And I want to thank all of the persons who have spoken this morning. Of course, clearly, our Dean, our Deputy Dean for Student Matters, the Administrative Officer who took you through advising and registration, as well as all of our directors and heads of department, and of course, and also a representative, Mr. Alder from the DSSD. So after all of this, we have talked about you are the present. You'll be very soon be advised, which is next week, Monday, the 24th. And please keep checking for the available times for that, for advising and then registration, as well as your departmental orientations. And now we start looking forward to your future. Take a moment to look at the future through the eyes of our graduates, which we call the footprints of the FHE.
My name is Lawrence Audrew, and I'm the Chief Executive Officer of the Heroes Foundation.
When you join the Faculty of Humanities and Education, you're actually joining a family. And that family will be there for you whenever you are in need. I actually transferred into FHE from NATSI at the time, and I studied communication studies and the geography. It's a bit of a weird combination, and it was a little challenging to get together. But every single person in every single office that I visited at FHE was so willing and helpful in getting me on that path to achieve this dream. Geography and communications really help you understand the interconnectivity of people and the space and the place. And FHE provides you with this unique opportunity to interact and understand worlds of knowledge and worlds of experience from the people. People are at the heart of FHE. People are in the engine room.
Hi everybody, my name is Tremaine Lammy and I did a theatre arts degree and a communication studies degree at the University of the West Indies. I am currently employed at the Lion King in London as a singer, and I'm the children's director for the show here. I've been here for the past 8 years. Deciding to go to UE was the best decision I ever made for my career, hands down. It is. I mean, from the coursework that we covered, it was so extensive and so comprehensive from a theoretical and a practical point of view. You know, it exposed students to not only the local heritage that we have in Trinidad and Tobago in an in-depth way, but it also shed a light on a lot of international work and prepared students for that international environment, you know, if they were to go abroad and further studies or get work or whatnot. Lecturers that I met at UE, I mean, they are my present day mentors. And if it weren't for their guidance and their knowledge and going beyond the call of just tutelage, you know, I don't know where I would have been, because they were always there pushing and encouraging students and getting the best out of them. And they saw each student very individually, you know, and that's a beautiful thing with the arts. It's very personal and very energy driven, and so a lot of the lecturers there were able to specifically have a relationship with you that drew out your best abilities, and that encouraged me so much because I saw myself as an individual, and that is just due to, you know, lecturers like Jessel Murray and Louis McWilliams, you know, that have been so vital to not just my education there, but my career further on.
Hi, I am Ronald, and this is Christiane interpreting. We are both graduate students here at the Department of Modern Languages and Linguistics. You know, the very first thing that people ask you when you tell them that you studied or you're studying linguistics is, what is linguistics? Or they ask, what do Caribbean linguists do? The short answer is that we study language. We study language structure, we study how people learn language, we study the relationship between language and society, technology, culture, etc. But Christiane and I both came into our programs, our undergraduate programs, as foreign language majors. I majored in Spanish first, and Christiane majored in French first. Before my program, I was a teacher in a secondary school. I taught English and I taught Spanish. And Christiane, even while she was in her program, did a year abroad in France, teaching English as well. But when we did courses and fieldwork in linguistics, we were able to understand and name a lot of experiences that we had before. So before I came into the program, I had been in a courtroom where I worked as an interpreter, and I saw a man explaining something in French Creole while I was waiting for my case to be heard. And he was asked by the magistrate, who was not St. Lucian, to say it again, and he said it in English. But when he said it the second time in English, he did not represent what he had said in French Creole accurately. I did not understand what I had witnessed until I did Introduction to Language in the linguistic program here. Christiane had a similar experience, so she started off in foreign languages, but when she did fieldwork in a deaf and hard of hearing community, she was informed by that. She was connected to that experience, and that is why she picked up, as I did, linguistics as a second major, and we are both now graduate students in linguistics.
In my everyday job here as the children's director at the Lion King, I'm able to conduct my work with a confidence because I was trained in that field because of the coursework that I covered during my program. It gave me so many tools and the knowledge to carry on my work in such an effective way. I am proud to be a game changer. I am proud to be UE.
Well, folks, that's the future. That's the future for the 250 of you who were on this morning, and the many others who will be viewing this video. So what I can tell you, if you missed anything this here that they may have passed so quickly in our 90 minutes, this video has been recorded and will be loaded online on the FHE YouTube channel so that you can view it. And also you can share it with anybody else who missed our session this morning. We want to remind you that next week, Monday, is our advising and registration sessions, including for the departments. Keep checking your emails or log on to the FHE website so that you can be advised of the various times for the activities. We've had a fair amount of questions this morning, and we have tried to respond to as many of them. But again, you can always write the Office of the Dean at dean.fhe@sta.uwi.edu. On behalf of our Dean, Dr. Heather Cato, on behalf of all of the directors and heads of the School of Education and our departments and the Center for Language Learning, and on behalf of our representative from the DSSD and our staff members from the, including Mrs. Brooms-Julian from the Office of the Dean, and of course the Guild, we'd like to thank you for tuning in this morning, and we say a heartfelt welcome to the FHE, the Faculty of Humanities and Education at the University of the West Indies. Have an excellent day, and we look forward to treating with you in every way possible, both within and out of our virtual classrooms. Thank you very much.